Anyway, so the main plot is more or less wrapped up, and there's still more than 30 minutes to go, so they toss in some weird long sequence about Guido sleepwalking. This doesn't take long to become completely ridiculous, as the path he takes happens to pass by every single one of his friends, who all end up waking and following him.
My auntie sleep swims, and my mama says do not ever, never wake her up when she is doing it.
Why not?
That I do not know, but my mama is always right.
Then I guess we better not let him wake up.
And yes, even though they don't understand why, they all agree not to wake him, even to the point where they go to stupid lengths trying to prevent him from walking right into the water and drowning. And not just that, but they come up with the dumbest solution. Come on, out of every possible way to build a bridge for him, they choose using their heads as stepping stones? And they don't even line up in front of him. It's dumb luck that he happened to walk right over them at the right angle. Dude, if one day I suddenly sleepwalked for hours and miles, none of my friends are good enough friends that they'd let me walk on their faces rather than wake me up. Then it gets even dumber. He almost walks right into lava. Lava! I know I said I wanted to see a little more danger, but this is just stupid. Just wake him up! He might die! It doesn't even end there. They push a log out onto a cliff, which just barely manages to perfectly land right in front of him, stretching the perfect distance between the two ledges, thus saving his life and at the same time putting all the rest of them in this position. But of course, they escape the exact second the log collapses and falls down the cliff. But Guido spontaneously turns around and walks off the cliff anyway.
Guido, no!
I'll give you a nickel if you can figure out what happens next. He flies! So that's what his wings are for. Ugh! So I'm guessing you all correctly guessed, so here's your nickel. Yeah, I forgot to mention it's Canadian, but yeah, here you go. It's yours, fair and square. So what does it mean for the great day of the flyers that Guido can fly too? I don't know. Let's find out. Oh wait, they're not done with the sleepwalking / sleep flying bit.
The mysterious beyond.
So finally, Guido wakes up and... oh. They killed Guido! Awesome! What is this barf? Of all the ways to create dramatic tension and have him escape, tickling the dinosaur? How many things can I find wrong with this? Number one, how did Guido even know his feathers are ticklish? I mean, it sounds like it would be obvious to us, but all throughout the movie, he doesn't have the slightest idea what they're for. Nobody ever suggests he can use them to fly until he does it by accident in his sleep. If he'd tickled someone earlier in the movie, that would have been a great setup for the scene, but it never happened. Even though there's a scene earlier where someone plucks a feather out of him. That would have been a perfect opportunity. Number two, why did this huge thing keep him in its mouth for so long? Look at this. It snaps down on him, lifts its head, takes a few steps, and it still hasn't occurred to it to swallow its meal, or even chew it. I doubt this big thing has a gullet. Teeth that big are meant for chewing. He would have at least bit down on the little guy. Then when he escapes... Do you have any idea how many times I was waiting for Petrie to swoop down and catch him? Why didn't he do that when he almost fell in the water, or in the lava, or off the cliff, twice? That would have saved everyone a whole lot of trouble. He had 4 opportunities to fly over and catch him that would have prevented all of this. This just makes no sense! Look, right here, he sees Guido plummeting to his death and doesn't fly after him to try to catch him. Why? He doesn't want to wake him up? Horse poop!
Me know how long we can keep this up.
How about you fly higher then? Go up to a tall cliff and rest there where the murderous monster can't mangle you with his mandibles. I'm on an alliteration kick today for some reason.
What is that thing? I don't know, but it's not friendly.
Thanks for the summary, Sarah. You know, this is kind of a minor thing for me to nitpick, but this makes no sense on 2 levels. The other characters can tell it's not friendly, so from a character point of view, it's a waste of breath. And the audience can tell it's not friendly. I mean, go ahead and start with your, well, kids are dumb remarks, but come on, toddlers can tell that the big thing that tried to eat their animated friend is not one of the good guys.
We gotta help them, but we need a plan.
Okay, now I have to stop the movie. Petrie and Guido have an advantage here. They can fly. The other kids can't. They have these tiny little legs and tiny little nubs for horns, so they can't outrun or fight off this big creature. So when Littlefoot says they need a plan, I am absolutely dumbfounded as to what plan they can come up with that would work, and maybe even a little intrigued. I thought, for the fun of it, I'm going to sit here and think carefully and see if I can come up with a plan on my own that would allow these little guys to be any sort of help at all, and allows them to escape safely. Okay, I took some time to carefully think it through, and yes, I realized that the protagonist wouldn't have the time or know how to do the same, but just stay with me. Here are a few plans that I came up with. I call this one the Bebop and Rocksteady. This is the old tried and true method of dealing with big dumb creatures in movies. You distract him and lure him away. Usually by calling him names and saying things like, "Yoo-hoo, over here," and blowing raspberries. Then, because he's easily distracted and is utterly unable to attack something loud and obnoxious, or conceive of the idea that it might be a trap, he chases them. They get out of the way, and he falls off a cliff or into some kind of hastily constructed trap. Or sometimes this is as far as they get, and when the dinosaur starts chasing them, they say, "Okay, now what?" Followed by, "We run!" And then the scene drags on for a few more minutes. It's solid movie logic, although in reality it would be flawed like crazy, since you have a plan that hinges entirely on the monster doing absolutely everything you want it to do, right up to not being able to stop in time, or stepping on the exact spot it needs to activate the trap or whatever, and in the time it takes to set it up, your friends are probably already KFC. So here's a slightly more effective plan I call the bigger fish. They find another monster just as big or bigger and lure it over, get it to fight with the first monster, and while the big bads battle, the heroes make a run for it. This plan hinges on them actually finding another monster, and one that's interested in chasing them, but is more interested in fighting another big monster over territory or food. It also requires the monsters to fight each other long enough that they can fully escape. It's extremely risky, but less risky than the other plan, at least in odds of success. But the worst case scenario is much worse, which is that you have 2 giant flesh-eating dinosaurs after you instead of 1. Finally, here's my third plan I call the common sense. They run home and get their families and other grown-ups in their community, which consist of giant dinosaurs that can fight off the big monsters, like this guy and this dude. Any one of them has an okay chance of fighting off the dinosaur, and in a group, they'd beat this thing to a pile of mulch. The flaws to this plan I can see are that it might take too long to run there and back, since I'm unclear on exactly how long Guido was sleepwalking, and that the noise of a bunch of large dinosaurs stomping around might attract even more predators. These are the best plans I can come up with without, say, a few days of careful study and research into dinosaur physiology or doing some kind of stupid analysis into the capabilities of each of the characters involved in the fight and so on. Now, I'd like you to compare the strengths and weaknesses of these three plans to flying higher than the dumb dinosaur can reach, you rock-brained morons. So now that I've wasted all this time and energy coming up with some tactics, let's see what plan Littlefoot comes up with. There we go. Littlefoot mixes it up a little bit with a combination of the Bebop and Rocksteady with Spike being an idiot. Meanwhile, the other flyers wake up and notice Petrie is missing.
Oh, hey, where's Petrie?
Where is he?
You're just going to have to fly without him.
What? What is wrong with these guys? Not a single one of them is concerned that a family member is missing? Look, maybe this lady isn't all that experienced as a mother, and I mean, this is prehistoric times, and they haven't written any books on the subject, so here's the standard protocol if you wake up to find your child is missing. Number 1, look for them. Call their name. See if they're at least nearby. Number 2, freak out. Number 3, check to see if they're with their friends or if they left a note or something. Number 4, start a search party. Get other families involved. Even if this great day is a really important tradition, and you know you have to go on with or without him, at least try to find your child first while you still have time. Like, tell the others to just get ready and you go off and look. It's not that complicated. Get a neighbor to watch them while you're looking. Most importantly, actually care that your child has disappeared! Meanwhile, Petrie is learning an important life lesson.
Is that you can't worry about being like everybody else. You just have to be yourself. Just be Petrie and you'll be fine.
You think so?
Also, there's some subplot they throw in about Sarah's little baby sister wandering off since her overprotective parents somehow never made her a crib. But I honestly don't care at this point. I know nothing's gonna happen. Petrie reunites with the others, and no one's particularly relieved that he's okay, and are merely upset that he nearly ruined their precious big day. Then they're off. And Petrie's all like, "Me still nervous, but me get newfound confidence from life-threatening trauma." And they're all like, "Petrie, conform to the societal norm." And he's like, "Me not mindless sheep. Me flap around in a spiral for no good reason." And Mom's like, "This is highly unusual, but strangely gratifying."
I gotta get a closer look.
So you're gonna climb up a tree and then end up flying too and discover the true meaning of feathers? Besides tickling. Petrie goes from confident to arrogant in about 20 seconds and starts smacking into all the others, and they just cheer him on because they're brainless drones that will follow anyone. Ugh, another song! What, are they hitting on him? Okay, let's skip past... Hang on! What turkey dump is this? They've been ragging on him all the time about how he'd never learn, and now they're saying they knew he would? What hypocrites! Then Petrie knocks an egg into the lake, and it sinks through to the bottom of a whirlpool. Just when I thought the lovable, innocent protagonist of our kids' movie was murdering babies, we get a shot of it plopping safely into a cave. Okay, so he's only being totally reckless and displacing a baby from its mother at birth. But he's not done. He and the others swoop by, launching it through the air, and only by the sheer luck of some older pterodactyl standing outside the cave, the egg is saved. Then, for some reason, the egg starts hatching right in front of them, and one of the old guys chucks it! Yes, he hurls a half-hatched newborn baby into the sky. Who in the basilisk who wrote this crud? The little guy hatches right in the middle of the air, and not only does it happen to be a flyer too, but it starts flying right away. B.S. Petrie struggled this entire movie to fly, and this newborn baby figures it out in 2 seconds? How'd they even know it was another flyer? After all that egg just went through, no one could have any idea where it came from in the first place, but they just somehow know it's a flyer, and that it'll be able to recover from the shock of coming to life and experiencing the world for the first time, then anticipate and understand the danger of falling, and figure out how to move its wings, and figure out the ups and downs of how to keep itself airborne in 2 seconds! And that's assuming that they somehow predicted the exact moment the bird was gonna hatch in midair. Can eggs even hatch in midair? I imagine it's hard to burst out of a shell while hurtling towards the ground. This isn't a plot hole, it's a plot vacuum. Then the bird flies back to its nest, which it somehow knows how to find, despite not being capable of seeing until seconds earlier, after going through that crazy Rube Goldberg route. Little Triceratops, honestly I don't remember her name, and I really don't want to rewind just to find out, falls into the river.
Trisha!
Oh yeah, Trisha. Falls into the river because her family are horrible people, and I'm predicting that Guido saves the day.
I just wish there was something I could do.
What? Oh yeah, thanks my unbelievably short memory about life-changing revelations.
Oh well, one way to find out.
Man, this movie would be so awesome if he just splattered all over the ground. But no, as you'd expect, he grabs the little girl and promptly gets dragged along with her.
Oh, that not good. Petrie, no! You gotta finish!
Finish what? All they're doing is flowing around, doing whatever. Oh no, if he saves that little girl, he's gonna ruin everything! Oh no, they're gonna fall over any second now. Any second now, they're gonna fall right over the... Oh, I guess they're still quite a ways off. Okay, well, it gives them a little more time. Oh, they're right over the edge right now. I guess Petrie is too late. Oh, there we go. Wow, that was a close one. The other flyers help out by grabbing onto Petrie's wings, which sounds like kind of a bad idea, but hey, I'm not a dinosaur. Somehow, rather than setting everyone down a safe few feet away, they fly up really high, so that they end up accidentally dropping the little girl so far that she's in the air for like 10 seconds. Then Sarah, rather than let her hit soft water, catches her with her horn. I don't know. By then she should have nearly hit terminal velocity, so I guess either should have been lethal. Luckily, it wasn't.
Trisha! Me not want to do that again today.
Not today? As in, let's save some stupidly dangerous stunt for the next sequel?
You truly are one of a kind.
Well, and thank you very much, big guy. I mean, I don't mean that you're, like fat big. I mean that you're...
Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. Shut up.
Go away.
You guys didn't finish the Day of the Flyers.
Here comes Mom.
Hi, Mom. Me sorry. I'm so proud of you. All of you. You know what's really important.
What? Where'd this where'd this lesson come from? Earlier, none of them cared that he was missing, other than the impact it would have on this stupid holiday.
Go, Petrie!
Aww, her first words. The end.
Many changes had occurred.
Blah blah, the end. So that's The Land Before Time number 12. The return of the great day of the Flyers' resurrection. The Phantom Revenge. Murder Edition. Overall, what are my thoughts on it? Just... The animation is fantastic. And It's boring. I can't relate to any of the characters. Most of them are written to be quirky, but their quirks don't give them any depth. They're just not interesting or developed. How do we describe these characters? Sarah is a little bit moody. That's like her entire character. Spike is quiet and clumsy. He doesn't say a single word in the whole movie, and he only really takes her focus for a few minutes, but he's more developed than Sarah. Ducky hates contractions.
I do not see anything at all. Nope, nope, nope.
Littlefoot is, what, helpful? The only protagonists that have any real personality are Petrie and Guido, and they both have the same character arc. They're nervous, awkward, clumsy, and unsure of their place, and eventually learn confidence in themselves and discover their own uniqueness and how they fit into the world around them. These aren't just parallels, they're the exact same subplots, and are shaped by literally the same events. The only exciting parts are too stupid to be taken seriously, and the rest of it is so blah that it's not even worth mentioning. If I cut out the songs and the useless scenes of characters just restating things we already know, this movie would have been a half hour long. If you have a couple of toddlers you're taking care of and want to have a movie night, and this is the only movie you have available, then by all means put it on. But I think I would rather put on my jacket, run out and rent Shrek, or Lilo and Stitch, maybe Wall-E, or Up. I haven't even seen Up, but I heard good things. You know what? I seriously think I would rather run out for 20 to 40 minutes and pay money to rent a movie I haven't seen and don't know for sure whether the kids would like than just say, here's a boring dinosaur movie, kids. Enjoy, I guess. It won't do anything for your imaginations or teach you anything, but you might like the bright colors. Oh, it's far from the worst kids movie I've ever seen. It just feels like a waste of time. Oh, and here's something I discovered after watching the movie. It turns out Guido is a Microraptor Gui. So they did take the cheap way out. Can't they introduce one new character without naming it after the type of dinosaur it is? They didn't take it far enough with a Triceratops named Sarah, Topsy, Tria, or Trisha. Well, I guess I've said all I can say about it, and I'm glad to be done with it. For number 13, let's turn things over to... Duke... Ect? Duke... Duke-C-T? Oh wait, how do I go back?
Hello? Who's this?
Hey, he is an evil genius. So listen, how do you pronounce your name?
It's Duke CT, man.
Right. So you up for it?
What are you talking about?
The Land Before Time sequels. You're still doing that, right?
Oh, yeah, that. Man, bring it on, man. It can't be any worse than the average Monday Night Raw or TNA Impact.
Yeah, that's it. This guy has no idea what he's getting into.
What was that?
Cancer? I mean, no, I have a cold.
Okay, man. Peace. So this is going to be my first ever non-wrestling review. Yeah, that's going to be very interesting. And if you want to see something, see my review, then go to www.dukectlounge.blogspot.com. There you can see that review and other pro wrestling reviews I have. So yeah, that's all my reviews. So can't wait to see you there.
You can see my weird video game reviews at he'sanevilgenius.com/WVG.
Yeah, you didn't hang up the phone. I'm still here.
Oh. Crap.